What if everything you've been taught about human history is wrong? What if civilization didn't begin 6,000 years ago, but ended? What if the first great global society didn't rise slowly, but collapsed suddenly, violently, and almost completely? And what if they left behind a warning, carved in stone, meant for us? Hidden beneath a quiet hill in southeastern Turkey lies Göbekli Tepe, the oldest monumental structure ever discovered on Earth. Older than Stonehenge, older than the pyramids, older than writing, older than agriculture, and at the centre of it all stands a single stone pillar. Pillar 43, also known as the Vulture Stone. Some say it's art, some say it's religion, some say it's myth, but others believe it's something far more disturbing. A message, a timestamp, a prophecy, a warning left behind by a civilization that knew exactly how the world ends. Before we begin, take a moment to support this channel. If you enjoy deep history, forbidden archaeology, and stories the mainstream refuses to touch, like the video subscribe. Share this with someone who questions history and comment below. Which country are you watching from and what time is it there right now? Now, let's begin at the end. The civilization before civilization, low rhythmic drum, fade in. Around 14,500 years ago, something extraordinary existed on this planet. Not tribes, not hunter-gatherers scraping by, but a connected global civilization, one that understood astronomy, geometry, ecology, and time itself. This society did not leave behind smartphones or satellites. They didn't build with steel or concrete. They built with stone, because stone survives cataclysms. Across the world, we find impossible structures that should not exist at their supposed age. Perfectly cut megaliths weighing hundreds of tons, astronomical alignments accurate to the precession of the equinoxes, shared symbols across continents, separated by oceans from South America to Egypt, from Indonesia to Turkey. The fingerprints are the same. Mainstream archaeology tells us these similarities are coincidence, but coincidence does not explain precision. And precision does not emerge from chaos. A global society before nations. This ancient civilization did not recognize borders. They traveled vast distances. They shared knowledge. They followed the sky. Their cities were not crowded slums, but ceremonial centers, places of learning, ritual, and remembrance. Göbekli Tepe was one of those places, and unlike later civilizations, these people did something strange. They buried their own monuments, deliberately, carefully, layer by layer. Why build something massive, only to hide it from the future, unless it was meant to be found later? Göbekli Tepe, the impossible site. Göbekli Tepe consists of massive stone rings, each containing T-shaped pillars, some over 20 feet tall, weighing up to 50 tons. These pillars were carved with animals, snakes, foxes, scorpions, birds. But one pillar stands apart. Pillar 43, the Vulture Stone. Unlike the others, this pillar tells a story, not in words but in symbols. Symbols that modern science is only beginning to understand. The sky carved in stone. In recent years, researchers noticed something unsettling. The animals on Pillar 43 don't behave like decorations. They behave like constellations. The vulture corresponds to Cygnus. The scorpion aligns with Scorpius. The snake reflects Ophiuchus. This isn't art. It's a star map. And not just any star map. It points to a specific date, a date around 10,950 BCE. The exact beginning of a global climate catastrophe known as the Younger Dryas. The Younger Dryas, Earth's sudden reset. Before this event, Earth was warming. Then, suddenly, temperatures dropped violently. Ice returned. Species vanished. Civilizations collapsed. Official explanations blame melting glaciers. But new evidence suggests something else. Something from the sky. The day the sky fell, around 12,800 years ago, Earth may have been struck or narrowly missed by a fragmented comet. Impact markers have been found across North America, Europe, the Middle East, sudden fires, shock waves, darkened skies, and mass extinction. Göbekli Tepe doesn't just record this event, it remembers it. The Vulture Stone shows a headless human figure, death. It shows animals falling, chaos. It shows the sky in motion, impact, a warning, not a memorial. These monuments were not built to praise gods, they were built to warn survivors, to say this has happened before, the sky is not safe, time is cyclical. Their message was simple: civilization is fragile, and the cosmos does not care. Why was this knowledge buried? Because knowledge like this creates panic. Because it challenges power. Because if people know the end is inevitable, they stop obeying kings, governments, and false certainties. And that is why this story is dismissed, labelled fringe, mocked, ignored. But the stones remain, waiting. We will decode Pillar 43 symbol by symbol and reveal how ancient people understood time, extinction, and cosmic cycles better than we do today. Because once you understand what the Vulture Stone truly says, you will realise something terrifying. The cycle may be returning. Stone does not lie. It does not exaggerate. It does not speculate. It only preserves what its makers believed was worth surviving the end of the world. At Göbekli Tepe, one stone rises above all others, not because it is taller, not because it is heavier, but because it speaks. Pillar 43, the Vulture Stone, is not random art. It is not decoration. It is not primitive religion. It is data, encoded by a civilization that understood the sky as a clock and catastrophe as a recurring event. To understand the warning, we must first forget how modern humans think about time. Time was not linear. To us, history is a straight line, past, present, future. But to ancient civilizations, time was a circle, cycles within cycles, ages rising and falling, creation followed inevitably by destruction. The builders of Göbekli Tepe did not ask if catastrophe would return. They asked when, and they carved the answer into stone. First impressions. What Pillar 43 shows. At first glance, Pillar 43 looks chaotic. Animals scattered across its surface, strange symbols, no obvious order, but ancient people did not carve randomly, especially not into 50-ton monoliths. Every figure matters. Let's begin at the top. The vulture dominating the pillar is a large bird, wings spread, body rigid. This is not just a vulture. In ancient symbolism, the vulture represents death transition, the soul leaving the body. But astronomically, it corresponds to the constellation Cygnus. Cygnus is no ordinary constellation. It lies directly along the Milky Way, what ancient cultures called the Path of Souls. To them, Cygnus marked the gateway between worlds, a place where something ends and something else begins, the scorpion. Below the vulture sits a scorpion. This one is easier to identify. It clearly matches the constellation Scorpius. Across cultures, Scorpius symbolized sudden death, poison, cosmic danger. Even today, Scorpius is associated with destruction. In the sky, Scorpius appears during a specific time of year. That timing matters, because this is how ancient astronomers dated events, the snake and other creatures. Around the pillar, snakes twist unnaturally. Snakes represent renewal cycles, cosmic forces. But here they appear aggressive, falling, descending, out of balance. Other animals, foxes, birds, abstract shapes, all correspond to constellations near the ecliptic, the path the sun, moon, and planets travel. This is not storytelling, this is astronomy. The headless human. Near the bottom of Pillar 43 is perhaps the most chilling figure of all, a human body, no head. In ancient symbolism, a headless figure means sudden death, loss of identity, the end of an age. It doesn't represent one person. It represents humanity. The stone as a sky map. When researchers digitally mapped the carvings on Pillar 43 against the night sky, something astonishing emerged. The arrangement of animals perfectly matched the positions of constellations, but only at a specific point in time. That time was around 10,950 BCE, the precise onset of the Younger Dryas. This was not coincidence, this was intentional. Why this date matters. The Younger Dryas was not a slow climate shift. It was violent. Within years, possibly months, Earth's temperature dropped dramatically. Glaciers advanced, sea levels shifted, entire ecosystems collapsed, but climate alone does not explain. Massive wildfires, high-temperature melting nanodiamonds found in soil layers. These are markers of cosmic impact. The comet hypothesis evidence suggests Earth was struck or narrowly grazed by fragments of a massive comet. The impact did not leave a single crater. Instead, it exploded in the atmosphere like a cosmic shotgun blast. The effects were global. The sky burned, the ground ignited, the sun was blocked for years, and civilization, the one before ours, collapsed. How did they know? This is the question modern science struggles with. How could people without telescopes or satellites know? The movement of stars over thousands of years, the precession of the equinoxes, the cyclic nature of cosmic impacts. The answer is uncomfortable because it suggests they inherited knowledge from a civilization even older than themselves. Lost knowledge, not primitive guesswork. Ancient people did not discover astronomy by accident. They observed the sky for millennia. They tracked changes slowly, generation after generation. They recorded disasters. They noticed patterns. And when the sky betrayed them once again, they remembered. Göbekli Tepe was built after the catastrophe by survivors. People who understood that memory fades, but stone endures. Why encode the warning? Why not simply carve, comet, hit Earth, beware? Because language changes. Symbols do not. Stars do not. Anyone at any time who understands the sky can decode the message. This was meant for a future civilization advanced enough to read it. Us. A clock, not a calendar. Pillar 43 does not just record a past event, it acts as a clock. Using precession, the slow wobble of Earth's axis, ancient astronomers could predict when similar alignments would return. And similar alignments mean similar risks. The implication, we fear. If the Vulture Stone is correct, then catastrophe is not random. It is periodic. Earth moves through dangerous regions of space, debris fields, comet streams, gravitational traps. Civilizations rise during calm periods and fall when the sky decides otherwise. Why this isn't taught? Because it removes control. Because governments cannot stop the cosmos. Because acknowledging this truth means admitting we are not masters of Earth. Technology does not make us safe. History is repeating. So the story is buried, just like Göbekli Tepe was buried. we will explore something even more disturbing: why similar warnings appear across the world, in Egypt, Sumer, India, and the Americas. Because Göbekli Tepe is not alone. And when these ancient messages are combined, they point toward a future we are not prepared for. Göbekli Tepe is not an isolated mystery. Across the globe, silent monuments whisper the same story. The story of civilizations that rose, thrived, and vanished, and of warnings carved in stone, hidden in plain sight. From the deserts of Egypt, to the jungles of Central America, to the frozen expanses of Siberia, we find the same message repeated over and over. Beware the sky. Egypt, the Great Pyramid. Connection. Most people believe the Great Pyramid of Giza was built as a tomb, but consider this: the pyramid's dimensions, alignment, and position reflect astronomical knowledge far beyond its time. Its sides are aligned almost perfectly to the cardinal points. Certain shafts point to specific stars, including Sirius and Orion's belt. The pyramid encodes precessional cycles similar to Göbekli Tepe. Some researchers argue that these alignments mark catastrophic intervals, not royal anniversaries. In other words, the Great Pyramid may also be a warning, a coded message about cosmic cycles. And like Göbekli Tepe, it survives because stone endures. Central and South America, megaliths of memory. In Mexico, the ancient city of Teotihuacan stretches across the desert with precise orientation. The Avenue of the Dead aligns with the Pleiades cluster. The Temple of the Sun mirrors the path of the summer solstice sun. Meanwhile, in Peru, Sacsayhuaman holds massive stone blocks, cut and placed with engineering precision impossible to replicate even today. Some stones weigh over 100 tons, yet they fit together without mortar. Archaeologists often dismiss these as ceremonial, but look closer. The carvings, layouts, and celestial alignments suggest a single global principle: remember the sky. Predict the danger. And in Mesoamerica, codices contain serpents, stars, and sudden destruction, mirroring the symbols on Pillar 43. India and the Vedic warnings. Even in South Asia, ancient texts hold astronomical secrets. The Vedas, some over 6,000 years old, speak of celestial cycles lasting thousands of years, comet-like objects streaking across the sky, rains of fire and oceans boiling. To the untrained eye, this is myth, but cross-reference the timing and descriptions and a pattern emerges. They're describing real cosmic disasters. Siberia and the ice records. The frozen north preserves something even older. Ice cores reveal sudden temperature drops, dust layers, and fire residues coinciding with the younger Dryas, exactly what Pillar 43 predicted. This is not local. From the Middle East to Greenland, layers of soil and ice confirm the same catastrophe. A pattern emerges when we connect the dots. Göbekli Tepe, warning of comet impact, star alignment, and mass death. Egypt, monuments and pyramids aligned to celestial cycles. Central and South America, temples, megaliths, codices, warning of cosmic peril. India, Vedic texts describing celestial fire and floods. Siberia and ice records, physical evidence of sudden global catastrophe. One conclusion cannot be ignored. These are not coincidences. They are echoes of a global memory carved into stone, written in stars and remembered by every surviving culture. Why so many cultures share the same warning? How could isolated civilizations, separated by oceans, mountains, and thousands of miles, all encode the same catastrophe? There are only a few possibilities. Global catastrophe survivors. The survivors of a previous global civilization travelled the world and taught others. They carried knowledge of cosmic cycles. They encoded it in monuments, myths, and rituals. Inherited knowledge. These civilizations inherited memory from a lost older culture, older than any known written history. Universal observation. Some argue that humans observing the skies independently noticed the same cycles, but precision and symbolic consistency suggest intention, not coincidence. The warning is consistent. Across continents, the same themes repeat. A headless or fallen figure symbolizing human vulnerability. Celestial animals marking time and cosmic alignment. Sudden fire, floods or destruction recorded as myth. Stone monuments built after catastrophe to warn future generations. The message is unmistakable. Civilization has collapsed before, it will collapse again. Prepare. Why modern science ignores this? Because acknowledging this truth would challenge the foundations of human history. We are told civilization started 6,000 years ago. We are told disasters are random and local. We are told humanity is safe because we have technology. But what happens when evidence points to cyclical global destruction? Modern science is forced to either admit there was a pre-human global civilization advanced enough to encode astronomical warnings, or deny all evidence and maintain the narrative of linear history. Göbekli Tepe and Pillar 43 cannot be ignored. Signs that the cycle may be returning. Some researchers now believe the same cosmic patterns are returning. Earth passing through known comet streams, fragmented asteroids in orbit, increasing reports of mysterious fireballs in the sky. We are entering a period when the ancient markers align once again. Pillar 43 was not just a warning, it was a prediction, and the message is chilling. The sky is not safe. The past may repeat itself. Why governments keep quiet? If the evidence of cyclical cosmic catastrophe is real, why doesn't anyone in power warn the public? Admitting the truth could cause panic. Technology cannot stop a comet. Economies would collapse. Societies would demand accountability. In short, the elites cannot control the cosmos, and they cannot control your fear, so instead the monuments are buried, the knowledge is obscured, and we are told everything is fine, connecting the global dots. If we map every ancient warning onto the globe, the pattern is undeniable. Göbekli Tepe, Turkey, Pillar 43, Comet, Human Extinction, Star Map, Pyramids, Egypt, Precession, Cycles, Star Alignment, Teotihuacan and Sacsayhuaman, Americas, Celestial Orientation, Codices of Destruction, Vedic Texts, India, Celestial Fire, Flood Myths, Siberian Ice Layers, Physical Evidence of Sudden Cooling, Fire and Debris. Every region points to catastrophe from the sky. Every culture records it in its own language. This is global memory, a message spanning millennia, a warning written in stone, stars, and survival instinct. Music swells, slight echo of wind and distant thunder. And now, as we begin to understand these warnings, we are forced to confront a terrifying question. If our ancestors could survive cosmic destruction once, can we survive it again? In the next chapter, we will examine the science behind these warnings, the evidence of past impacts, and why many researchers now fear that the cycle is repeating right before our eyes. Because what comes next is not myth, it is physical reality. We've seen the warning carved into stone. We've traced it across the globe. Now it's time to confront a question that modern science often ignores. Did Earth suffer global catastrophes before recorded history? And could it happen again? Pillar 43 at Göbekli Tepe, the pyramids of Egypt, the megaliths of the Americas, and the Vedic texts of India all point to one chilling conclusion. Civilization is not eternal. And for centuries, researchers overlooked a crucial detail. The evidence is literally written in our planet. The Younger Dryas, the last global reset. Around 12,800 years ago, Earth experienced what scientists call the Younger Dryas. Temperatures plunged dramatically. Glaciers advanced rapidly. Ice cores from Greenland reveal layers of dust, soot, and microscopic debris. This event occurred after the last ice age, during a period when the world had begun warming. Suddenly, it reversed course. Conventional explanations suggest melting glaciers disrupted ocean currents. But something doesn't add up. Fires erupted globally, leaving charred soil layers from North America to Europe. Nanodiamonds, created only under extreme heat and pressure, appear in sediments worldwide. Melted rock, consistent with aerial explosions, is scattered across continents. These are not the consequences of slow climate change. They are evidence of cosmic impacts. Comets, asteroids, and Earth's vulnerability. The Younger Dryas impact hypothesis proposes that fragments of a comet struck Earth. Not one single collision, but multiple fragments. Detonations occurred in the atmosphere, causing firestorms. Debris spread across continents, disrupting climate, ecosystems, and human populations. In short, Earth was hit from the sky. And humans, despite their ingenuity, were powerless. Imagine it. A civilization advanced enough to build massive structures and track celestial cycles, suddenly thrown into chaos. Crops fail, rivers freeze, ice expands, hunger spreads, civilization collapses, and the survivors build monuments to warn the next generations. Evidence across the globe. Let's examine the concrete evidence layer by layer. 1. Nanodiamonds. Nanodiamonds are microscopic, crystalline carbon structures formed under intense heat and pressure, such as those caused by asteroid or comet explosions, found in soil layers from North America to Europe and the Middle East, dated precisely to the start of the Younger Dryas, indicates extreme, sudden, global events, not gradual change. Pillar 43, the Vulture Stone, may be depicting these very events in symbolic form. The falling birds, serpents, and headless human. 2. Melted rock and glass. Spherules found across continents. Evidence of high-temperature explosions in the atmosphere. These spherules are not volcanic. They form only during massive cosmic impacts. It's as if the sky itself erupted. 3. Ice core data. Greenland and Antarctic ice cores reveal sudden layers of dust, soot, and organic debris. Abrupt cooling and climate reversal is recorded exactly 12,800 years ago. Coincides with evidence of widespread wildfires and mass extinction events. Science confirms something catastrophic happened globally. 4. Mass extinctions. Species vanished during this period, including large mammals like mammoths, saber-toothed cats, and giant sloths. Plants and aquatic ecosystems suffered dramatic die-offs. Human populations plummeted, leaving survivors scattered and isolated. Civilization as it existed, advanced, connected, global, was destroyed. Patterns in Time Pillar 43 does more than record the past. It predicts cycles. Ancient astronomers noticed precession, the slow wobble of Earth's axis over 25,800 years. This wobble shifts the position of stars over millennia. It allowed them to calculate future alignments. Certain alignments correlate with cosmic events, comets, meteor streams, and debris fields. Göbekli Tepe was not only a memorial, it was a cosmic calendar, a warning system. Monuments as memory banks. Why monuments? Stone lasts. Paper decays. Digital records fail in fire, flood, and electrical storms. By encoding knowledge into massive stones, pillars survive millennia. Knowledge transcends generations. Warnings reach the future. Across the world, the pattern repeats. Göbekli Tepe, Pillar 43 Egyptian pyramids, astronomical alignments, star shafts Teotihuacan and Sacsayhuaman, orientation, celestial markers, Vedic texts, cosmic events described in allegory, each civilization understood. Earth is fragile, the sky is dangerous. Modern verification. Recent studies support these ancient warnings. Geochemical analysis confirms extraterrestrial origin of nanodiamonds and spherules. Satellite imagery reveals buried impact craters and glacial disruptions. Archaeological dating matches sudden population collapses worldwide. In other words, science validates what the ancients warned, a cycle that never ends. The Earth moves through the solar system in predictable patterns, passing through debris fields left by comets. These regions are dense with fragments capable of devastating impacts. Alignments in the past correlate with cosmic disaster events. Pillar 43 may be marking the next potential window of danger. We are not invincible. We are not outside history. The ancients understood something that modern humans often ignore. Time is cyclical. Catastrophes repeat. Humanity forgets. Evidence of a recurring threat. Consider these examples. The Tunguska event, 1908. A comet or asteroid exploded over Siberia, flattening 2,000 square kilometers of forest. No crater formed, exactly the kind of airburst the younger Dryas fragments could have caused. Chelyabinsk meteor, 2013. A relatively small asteroid exploded over Russia, causing hundreds of injuries. Earth is constantly vulnerable. Ancient craters and tektites worldwide evidence of multiple impacts over tens of thousands of years aligns with the cyclical pattern of catastrophe observed by ancient civilizations. Human awareness versus cosmic reality. Modern humans have achieved incredible technological progress. Satellites orbit the Earth, early warning systems track near-Earth objects, space agencies monitor asteroid belts. And yet, most of these systems cannot prevent a sudden, fragmented cosmic impact. Civilizations, cities, and populations remain vulnerable to a disaster like the Younger Dryas. In other words, we may be repeating the mistakes of our ancestors. Lessons. The ancients knew record everything in stone and sky pillars, pyramids, megaliths, all encode survival knowledge. Understand cosmic cycles. The Vulture Stone shows precession and alignment as a warning. Civilizations are fragile. Advanced societies collapsed suddenly, globally, and repeatedly. Prepare, don't ignore. Monuments exist not for worship, but for survival. Signs in the modern sky, cometary debris and meteor streams pass through our orbit periodically. Unusual fireball activity has increased in recent decades. Satellite observations detect potentially hazardous objects crossing near-Earth paths. The Vulture Stone might not just be a memory, it could be a forecast. A warning. We cannot afford to ignore. The message of Pillar 43 is simple yet terrifying. Humanity will rise. Humanity will fall. The cosmos does not forgive. The sky remembers. Monuments, myths, and star maps across the globe confirm it. We are part of a cycle millions of years in the making. Technology may delay, but it cannot prevent. The question is not whether the sky will strike again, but when. Göbekli Tepe and Pillar 43 are not relics of art or religion. They are warnings encoded by survivors of a previous apocalypse. Science now confirms their story. Nanodiamonds, melted rock, ice core anomalies, mass extinctions, all point to sudden global catastrophe. And yet, despite these warnings, modern humans continue to ignore them, busy building empires that may vanish overnight. Music rises, echoing ominously. Soft wind and distant thunder. In the next and final chapter, we will confront the ultimate truth. If the past can predict the future, what are we doing today to survive the cycle? We will examine ancient wisdom, modern science, and what Pillar 43 truly tells us about the future of humanity. Because the end is not just history. It is coming again. The final warning. Are we ready for the coming catastrophe? We have travelled across time and space. We have stood before Göbekli Tepe, tracing the carvings of Pillar 43, the Vulture Stone. We have seen its warning reflected across civilizations, continents, and millennia. Civilization rises. Civilization falls. The sky holds power. Humanity cannot control. Now, it is time to confront the final question. Are we ready? Because the truth of Pillar 43 is not just history, it is prophecy. And prophecy is a warning. Humanity's forgotten lessons. Our ancestors survived the unimaginable. They saw global catastrophe. They watched civilizations collapse. They encoded knowledge in stone, aligned with stars, and passed it through myth. And yet, humanity today has forgotten these lessons. We have advanced technology. We have satellites and early warning systems. We have cities, industries, and global networks. And still, we are vulnerable. The same forces that destroyed the first global civilization, cosmic impacts, climate disruption, and sudden catastrophe, are still with us. Pillar 43 does not just tell us what happened, it tells us what will happen again. Reading the stars. The recurring pattern. Ancient astronomers tracked cycles carefully. They observed precession, the slow wobble of Earth's axis. They mapped comets and celestial debris. They noted patterns of destruction occurring every tens of thousands of years. The Vulture Stone encodes this pattern. The vulture, Cygnus, gateway to destruction. The scorpion, Scorpius, sudden death. The serpents and falling animals, cosmic chaos. The headless human, civilization at risk. Modern science now confirms these cycles. Meteor streams intersecting Earth's orbit are predictable. Comet debris fields return cyclically. Historical impacts, from the Tunguska event to the Chelyabinsk meteor, show that Earth is repeatedly struck. We are not safe. We are only temporarily spared. The coming cosmic threat. Imagine a fragment of a comet entering Earth's atmosphere, travelling at tens of kilometers per second, exploding mid-air like a fireball, igniting forests, cities, and clouds. Now imagine multiple fragments, a cosmic shotgun blast. Dust clouds block sunlight, temperatures plummet globally, crops fail, oceans and rivers shift, survivors will scatter, just like 14,500 years ago. And the monuments left behind, the pyramids, Göbekli Tepe and others, will speak to a future generation. Remember us. Remember the sky. Prepare. Civilization on borrowed time. We live in a world that believes it controls nature. Cities touch the clouds. Technology monitors every corner of Earth. Satellites track asteroids and governments claim readiness. But control is an illusion. A fragmented comet could bypass detection. Our early warning systems rely on predictable patterns, but the universe is chaotic. Humanity's survival depends not on technology alone, but on understanding the cycles the ancients recorded. Ancient wisdom meets modern science. The ancients may have had one advantage. They observed the sky without distraction. They noticed patterns over generations. They encoded knowledge into monuments and myth, ensuring survival beyond memory. Modern science is just catching up. Nanodiamonds and melted spherules confirm past impacts. Ice cores show sudden global temperature shifts. Geological surveys reveal buried craters and debris. We now know the story the ancients warned us about. Catastrophe is cyclical. It will return. Evidence of imminent danger. Recent studies indicate several potential risks. Known near-Earth objects, NEOs. Thousands of asteroids are catalogued, some large enough to cause regional or global devastation. Small fragments are far harder to detect, but still lethal. Comet debris streams. Earth intersects these streams on a predictable cycle. Ancient monuments mark these intervals. Pillar 43 is one such record. Unusual meteoric activity, increasing reports of fireballs in the past decades. Evidence of larger, untracked objects may indicate incoming threats. The cycle is not hypothetical. It is measurable. It is observable. And humanity has never truly faced it at scale. Civilization's fragility. History has already proven humanity is fragile. 14,500 years ago, global civilization collapsed during the Younger Dryas. 12,800 years ago, another sudden event caused mass extinctions. 1908 Tunguska event, localized destruction, but a warning of what fragments can do. Now consider modern population densities, nuclear arsenals, and fragile supply chains. A single large impact could cascade into food scarcity, water shortages, energy grid failures, social collapse. And the ancient warning? It is simple. Prepare or perish. Pillar 43 as a survival manual. The carvings on the Vulture Stone are not just symbolic, they are instructions. Observe the sky stars, constellations and cycles indicate dangerous periods. Record anomalies, meteors, unusual celestial events and comet sightings are warnings. Preserve knowledge, stone lasts. Paper decays. Digital records are vulnerable. Prepare for the inevitable. Humanity survived before by acting on this knowledge. The Vulture Stone was a survival guide, not mythology. Modern interpretation. Scientists and archaeoastronomers now argue ancient civilizations had a cyclical understanding of cosmic events. The Younger Dryas impact was not random, but part of a pattern visible in the stars. Pillar 43 encodes dates, constellations, and signs we are only beginning to decode. In essence, Göbekli Tepe was a time capsule, a message for a future generation. Us. Are we listening? The question we face today is uncomfortable. Have we forgotten the lessons of our ancestors? Are we relying on technology while ignoring patterns they understood naturally? Can we survive if the cycle returns, as Pillar 43 suggests it will? History tells us civilizations that ignore warnings perish. Lessons for today. Observation matters. Track the skies, meteor streams and orbital debris. Preserve knowledge, build records that will survive disasters. Stone, deep archives, redundant systems. Prepare infrastructure. Develop food, water and energy reserves independent of fragile systems. Understand cycles. Cosmic events are predictable in ways we often ignore. Pillar 43 and monuments worldwide are our ancient insurance policy. Humanity at a crossroads. We stand at a unique moment in history. Technology gives us power to observe and predict. Civilization is more interconnected than ever. But our survival depends on heeding warnings recorded thousands of years ago. The ancients left a choice encoded in stone: remember, observe, prepare. Will we listen, or will history repeat? The prophecy returns. Pillar 43 does not end with the past. It projects forward. The sky will shift. Debris fields will return. Civilization will face trials it cannot control. And like our ancestors, we may have days, months, or years to prepare. The difference is, we know it's coming. We have the tools to act, if we pay attention. Göbekli Tepe, Pillar 43 and the Vulture Stone are not relics. They are warnings, predictions, survival guides. Across the globe, monuments, myths and texts tell the same story. The sky is dangerous. Civilization is fragile. History repeats. The question for humanity is simple. Will we survive this cycle or become another forgotten civilization, buried beneath stone and dust, remembered only in prophecy? If you take anything from this story, let it be this. Look up. Observe the stars, remember the past, prepare for the cycle ahead, because the warning of Pillar 43 is not a story. It is not myth. It is real, and it is our responsibility to heed it. We have seen the patterns, we have traced the cosmic warnings across continents, across civilizations, across millennia, and yet there is more to Pillar 43 than meets the eye. Its carvings, its animals, its celestial alignments, they are not random. They are a blueprint, a map for survival. Ancient civilizations encoded lessons not just in monuments, they encoded them into human memory and myth. Hidden global markers. If we map Pillar 43 against known sites worldwide, a terrifying pattern emerges. Göbekli Tepe, Turkey Pillar 43 marks the Younger Dryas and its catastrophic events. Giza, Egypt's star shafts align with Orion and Sirius, encoding precessional cycles. Teotihuacan, Mexico Avenue of the Dead, points to Pleiades. Temple of the Sun mirrors solstice patterns. Sacsayhuaman, Peru massive stone placements encode seismic, astronomical, and seasonal knowledge. Vedic temples, India fire, and flood myths correspond with celestial alignments and comet passages. Chaco Canyon, North America structures aligned with lunar and solar cycles, possibly marking catastrophic periods. These sites are separated by oceans and thousands of miles, yet their astronomical and symbolic logic converges. The conclusion is chilling. These ancient civilizations shared knowledge of cosmic destruction and survival strategies, the return of celestial catastrophe. Modern astronomers confirm something unsettling. Earth passes through dense cometary debris streams periodically. Fragmented comets, much like the one that caused the Younger Dryas, are still present in near-Earth space. Satellite tracking detects fireball activity increasing over the last 50 years. Imagine the Vulture Stone as a cosmic clock. The birds, serpents, and headless figure are markers of previous intervals. They indicate the cyclical return of danger. If Pillar 43 is correct, humanity is approaching a cosmic alignment capable of repeating catastrophe. Signs in the modern era. Several modern events echo the warnings. Tunguska event, 1908. A fragment flattened 2,000 square kilometers in Siberia with no crater formed. The kind of airburst ancient people depicted as falling animals and fire in the sky. Chelyabinsk meteor, 2013, 20-meter asteroid, exploded above Russia. Shockwaves shattered thousands of windows, injured hundreds. Unexpected fireballs observations of increased meteor showers suggest more debris in our orbital path. Some may come from previously undetected comet fragments. Climate anomalies. Sudden temperature drops in localized regions, rapid flooding, fires, and unexpected storms. The pattern is unmistakable. History is repeating itself in smaller, warning-scale events. Civilization is still fragile. Consider the vulnerabilities of modern society. Cities and megacities concentrate billions of people in confined areas. Electric grids and supply chains rely on continuous, uninterrupted infrastructure. Food production depends on climate stability. A sudden global catastrophe, comet impact, atmospheric explosion, or cosmic debris shower could trigger immediate destruction of urban centers, global famine due to crop failure, breakdown of communication and transportation, panic, migration, and civil unrest. Ancient survivors of the Younger Dryas understood this inherently. They encoded survival strategies in monuments, myths, and cultural rituals. We have the same information now, but we ignore it at our peril. The science of survival. If humanity wants to survive the next cosmic event, there are 4 pillars of preparation, each mirrored by ancient wisdom. 1. Observation and prediction. Modern astronomy gives us unparalleled visibility into the cosmos. Near-Earth object, NEO tracking, can detect larger asteroids or comet fragments. Ancient astronomers used star alignment to predict cycles and dangerous intervals. We must integrate ancient knowledge with modern technology to anticipate high-risk periods. 2. Preservation of knowledge. Pillar 43 survived 14,500 years. Modern storage is vulnerable. Digital systems can fail. Paper decays. Key information, disaster protocols, celestial observations, survival instructions, should be stored redundantly and physically, like the ancients did. 3. Infrastructure resilience. Ancient survivors rebuilt communities after global events. Modern societies must reinforce infrastructure, underground or protected food and water supplies, energy independence, solar, geothermal, off-grid solutions, decentralized communication networks. Without preparation, a single impact could trigger global collapse. 4. Cultural awareness and education knowledge must reach the masses, not just elites. Ancient civilizations passed knowledge through stories, symbols, and rituals. Modern society must educate on cosmic risk, recognizing celestial anomalies, understanding cycles of disaster, preparing communities for rapid response. Lessons from Pillar 43. The vulture warns, death and destruction come from above. The scorpion warns, sudden, unpredictable events. The serpents warn, chaos spreads like a contagion. The headless human warns, civilization is fragile and humans are vulnerable. Encoded in stone over 14,000 years ago, these are lessons for survival. We ignore them at our own risk. Signs. Ancient monuments are still relevant. Archaeologists and archaeoastronomers have uncovered other markers that validate Pillar 43's warning. Stonehenge, UK, tracks lunar and solar cycles, potentially aligned with dangerous comet intervals. Easter Island, Moai, may encode migration patterns after catastrophe. Nabta Playa, Egypt, aligned with star cycles thousands of years ago. Cahokia, North America, mound placements coincide with lunar and solar markers. Monuments are time capsules, predicting cycles of destruction, preparing for the coming cycle. The evidence is clear. Pillar 43's prophecy is not myth. It is a call to action. track celestial cycles, monitor near-Earth objects, reinforce infrastructure and supply chains, preserve knowledge in durable, redundantly accessible formats. And most importantly, accept that civilization is vulnerable to cosmic forces beyond control. Ancient civilizations survived by observing, recording, and preparing. We have the technology, but will we heed the warnings? The chilling possibility. The Vulture Stone indicates something humanity struggles to comprehend. Global civilization may be destroyed suddenly by forces beyond our control. Death is indiscriminate. Systems fail rapidly. History is cyclical, and we are approaching the next window. Consider, if we fail to prepare, the outcome is inevitable. Millions, possibly billions, could perish. Knowledge and infrastructure could vanish, forcing survivors to rebuild from scratch. The cycle begins anew, just as it did 14,500 years ago. Humanity at a crossroads. We now face a choice: ignore the warnings and continue as if cosmic disaster is impossible. Pillar 43 warns that ignorance leads to collapse. Heed the warnings and prepare for the next cycle. Preserve knowledge, strengthen infrastructure, educate populations, observe the skies. Our ancestors built monuments, star maps, and myths to ensure survival. We must do the same, with modern science as our tool. The ultimate truth. The final warning of Pillar 43 is simple: civilization is not eternal. The cosmos is indifferent. Prepare, or history will repeat itself. The Vulture Stone is not a relic. It is a message through time. It is a guide for survival. The choice now belongs to us. Göbekli Tepe, Pillar 43 and the Vulture Stone were built to speak to us thousands of years in the future. The message is clear. Observe the sky, preserve knowledge, prepare for catastrophe. Understand that history is cyclical. We are not masters of Earth. We are part of a fragile cycle. If humanity listens, learns, and acts, we may survive the next cosmic event. If we ignore the warning, we may become another forgotten civilization, buried beneath stone and dust, remembered only in prophecy. The Vulture Stone has waited 14,500 years to tell us. The end may be near, but it is not inevitable. The choice is ours. Look up, observe the stars, remember the past, and prepare, because the cycle is returning and Pillar 43 will not warn again.